Timestamp, it is December 2nd. Yeah, 2025. It's like right at 5 p.m. Pix just texted me to let me know she got home safe. It's. The Weather Channel said it was supposed to rain today, but it had it starting at like 10 a.m. and it was supposed to still be like storming at this point. Ooh, blast of heat. Got Silent Hill going on in the backyard here. Got some more junk mail and some of the extra newspaper that was lying around, because God knows there's a lot of that. And it's like kind of gross newspaper. We don't even want to like use it to wrap stuff. You know, does that make sense? Someone across the lake is having a seizure based on the shouts. I don't know. But yeah, it was supposed to be like raining and supposed to have been raining for the past 6 hours, so I wasn't sure what my girl was driving home through. So definitely looking forward to her calling or texting me. I mean, she always does, but it had been like an hour, so I'm guessing she got hung up in traffic. Probably going home from work traffic kind of stuff. So I just heard Gene Wilder screaming out of my phone, so I know that she made it home okay. I used to have the Tim Curry "I'm Not Shouting" rant from Clue as her text announcement, which also funny. Yeah, she used to roll her eyes and be less amused about that one, so I promised her I'd change it, and I did. Now it's Gene Wilder getting angry about his blue blanket from the producers. You and I both know it's a sarcastic solution. It's not really a better answer. It's more lateral, you know. But hey, I complied. But we have that kind of relationship. We can get away with doing that kind of thing to each other, and no one has to really be worried about. And it's not because we're living in separate houses right now, but no one has to really be worried about, being smothered with a pillow in their sleep. Yeah, we're good. Has that mostly died down? Nope. Not exactly. I don't like going inside when there's still like flames blazing, even though it's in the barrel. Oh yeah, it just kicked up again. We can hang out for a minute. If it starts raining, then I'm even less worried, but I don't know what it's going to do at this point. Kind of Florida weather. But I was concerned that maybe she might be driving home in some soup. So, again, probably why it took her an hour. It was either raining or because it was close to 5, traffic was just dumb. I was driving from Lutz to Town and Country, if you know the area. It's a 20-minute drive if no one else is on the road and you cheat a lot. 30 is kind of casual, not too bad. During peak hours and whatnot, or in bad weather, that 30 minutes becomes a lot longer. I don't know why you guys like digging up the roots and eating them. Very, very strange. And apparently it's not really great for you. We've sat down and talked to both the dogs about it, but they, it's like teenagers, Until you're bleeding, you're not going to listen to me, so. Oh yeah, still kicking up some flames. Mostly got the investment account stuff worked out. So basically rolling over my mom's stuff into my dad's account and then putting me in as a fiduciary on his account. Great. As long as I have documentation that I can show the court saying this has been done. Cool. hopefully there's no more shenanigans there. And got an appointment with one of the reps at the bank for tomorrow to try and get the guardianship account going, because we've essentially got to close their main account, or at least transition it into a guardianship account. I don't know how that works. They probably close it and reopen. Banks are weird about like changing the status of an account type, so I don't know. This is my first time. That's what I was telling Amy on the phone. I'm like, because she asked me a question, I don't even know what it was, and we were just trying to have fun. And I'm like, I don't know. This is the first time my mom has died and my dad has gone crazy, so I'm new at this. Next time it happens, I'll be much better prepared. But yeah, there have been a few people, like even one of the lawyers was kind of treating me like, you should know how to do this. And it's like, no, I really shouldn't know how to do this. You know, no one should have to go through this ever, much less, you know, knowing what they're doing when it does happen. That's why you're working for me right now, is because you do know what to do and I have no idea. Sent out a couple of eBay packages, stopped at the grocery store. Groceries, you know, such an old school word. Nobody ever uses it anymore. Yeah, except every normal person. Curious what the results of that MRI are regarding the orange guy, because I guess he had the MRI done and it was perfect, and he doesn't know what they were checking for. It was just standard, because you typically know what they're doing an MRI on, and it's not standard unless there's a diagnosis or a question of a diagnosis. You know, I've had an MRI twice. One was for my lungs, which that was what discovered emphysema, and 2 was for my back injury, which was what discovered that I had 8 herniated discs. We knew going into this what we were looking for, you know. It's not we're just going to poke around. Forget what comedian, I think it was Colbert, said that maybe he was confused because it just sounded like a really loud tanning bed or something. Might have been Seth Meyers, I don't know. I watch all those guys. I mean, it's a big tube they shove you in, and it's loud. You can't ignore the fact that you're having an MRI done. But you typically know what they're looking at. So. And if you don't, that means somebody else is running your business, which means, did somebody get guardianship of him and they're just not telling us? Because I would have to authorize that stuff for my dad. Yeah, that would make sense. Mind you, if that's the case, he's not supposed to have a job. Just saying. I'd gotten up at 11 p.m. last night, and I did some book restacking in the garage, trying to get those shelves kind of condensed down, because right now it's sloppy, and also checking to make sure Dad didn't hide something important amongst the books, which, you know, I have to think about it like this. I mean, I'm used to playing in, you know, D&D and whatnot. I'm used to playing like thief type, rogue type characters, and I understand con jobs and grifting and thievery and all that stuff for reasons of backgroundy stuff, but I'm actually one of the good guys, so don't let that fool you. Just some stuff I'm not going to talk about here. big fan of the TV show Leverage, if that gives you any idea. Sarah. So I kind of know how to, like, Quantico search a place, if you follow me. So I'm checking all the old familiar places, because I don't know with my dad. You know, I know some things that are missing, but I don't even know if there's other things that are missing that I don't even know are missing, because it's something they didn't tell me about, you know, or something they got over the past 2 years that they didn't inform me was going on. Because a lot of this I'm supposed to be, like, reporting my lawyer and or the court. So, but with my dad's crazy time and my mom starting to buy into some of the paranoia of I'm out to get them kind of thing, you know, me and the fish people, I don't know what all took place when I wasn't looking. And it's real possible that stuff took place when I wasn't looking. So yeah, there have been quite a few moments where I ask myself if I'm trying to prove a negative. Yeah, well, if it makes you gag, then maybe you shouldn't put it in your mouth. Yeah, I know you got to be careful where you say that. I realized I was talking to the dog about eating grass or what have you. Know the room, right? Okay. Black with some orange and smoldering. That, goes down smooth. Also, got to be careful where you say that. Snoop, are you here? Okay. Heard the equivalent of some leaves cracking over there, and I've got one dog in front of me, one dog behind me, and no dogs to the right of me. So. And here I am, stuck in the middle with you. I can't hear that song anymore without picturing Michael Madsen in a black suit dancing, holding an ear. It's just what pops into my head. I'm a little bit of a Tarantino fan, and that's absolutely my favorite of his. I like Pulp Fiction, but dogs. Oh, you did come. Alright. Let's go get cookied. I can't walk through that little narrow, thank you. Yeah, you gotta actually cooperate. I can plow through you. We can do our Godzilla and Tokyo impression if you want. Gently. That was almost a finger, thank you. Yeah. Over here doing your circus act. It's way too cute. There you go. Oh. So, yeah. Only got one package today. Notice I'm holding it by the unbroken handle. So, got my second Tweety mug, which, because I'm going to be going through my mugs here in the near future and trimming down, getting, because I've got, and I love all the Looney Tunes guys, but also, I've got like probably 10 Taz mugs and 10 Tweety mugs and stuff like that, because I've gotten a lot of mixed lots and whatnot. And although I love all the guys, they're not my favorite characters, so I'm probably gonna like sell some of those at the garage sales. I'm not gonna take like less than $5. I'll already be taking a little bit of a loss on it, because most of them cost me like 10-ish to get here. But that is my second Tweety mug, and it is because I looked it up on my eBay history, and this about made me cry. It is my 6th attempt to get. So out of 6 attempts, 2 have survived shipping. I don't know what it is, because you would think Tweety, especially based on because he is actually a boy, his experience with Mike Sylvester, Tweety's an indestructible little bird. By his size, judge him not. He is tough. But yeah, 2 out of 6 have made it here alive. Which, damn. And I have 1 Taz mug out of 3 attempts. Now I've got 1 more on the way right now, this is the one where the guy said he was going to ship it out on Saturdays, because he always ships them out on Saturdays, and then 8 days later I said, okay, well, you've had 2 Saturdays now, can I get a tracking number at least? Oh my god. Yeah. So supposedly, and humorously enough, that's supposed to be going out today, and he said that he was going to be out there in the afternoon at the post office, and he would put a tracking number on it and email me confirmation that it went out. It's 5:15, and I haven't gotten any such animal in my email. Let me verify. Just double checking. Nope, he's a liar. Yep. Got Dennis Leary in my head now. You are a liar. Capital L, capital I, capital E. If you haven't seen the ref, you don't know what I'm talking about there. LT has reminded me that maybe announcing where some of these things come from, the mania that spills out of my mouth, would be good. The Ref, it's our family's favorite Christmas movie. And it is a Christmas movie, but it's not Miracle on 34th Street. It's more like an even ruder Home Alone kind of Christmas movie. And we love it. And yes, Kevin Spacey's in it, but just try and ignore what you know. Because also, Dennis Leary. It's just fabulous. And it was a movie that my wife and I would always watch at Christmas. But recently, I think it was a year or 2 ago, our kids were like, you guys were always talking about the Ref, because we hadn't actually watched it with them. They were like, and you say it's like, you know, Dad's Family a lot, and we haven't actually watched it. And we were like, oh, okay. Let us sit down and watch a Christmas movie together. And afterwards, they were both like, yeah, okay, we understand why. Yeah, this should be a tradition. We need to watch the Ref every year. So especially this year, as the dust is settling in all the May and BS, it's on. It's December 2nd already. God. We're going to be making a date and watching the Ref together as a family. It's just the kind of movie to keep you warm on these cold winter days. We're basically not well people, and we know that. So I don't really have anything else to report. I'm trying to be better about the checking in daily, though, because that was part of my agreement to the cosmos. But because we went to the grocery store, I picked up some fruit, because heated up some of the pears and dates that I made for myself and my girl, and I finally got to heat some up for my girl because she was like, I'm hungry, I just want a snack. I'm like, let me heat up some of the pear thing that I made. And she took one bite, and then she took a second rapid bite and said, I should probably make this at least 5 times a week. So, we went to Aldi, and they have their produce is just usually top notch, without paying like Publix prices, So I got some apples, some pears, some more dates, because it would work just as well with the apples. And all I did was I cut the meat off the pear, don't do the seeds and the stem and all that. Cut up the dates, pulled out the pit, the seed, whatnot, and soaked it in like a marinade of honey and cinnamon, and just let it think about that for hours and hours, and then in the oven baked it at, I think I baked it at 300. I baked it low because I didn't want to burn it, and when you bake it lower, sometimes you can bake it longer. I wanted to really think about what it had done. Waited until I started seeing it like caramelize, get that nice copper brown thing going on, not too dark obviously, because that's called burned. Pulled it out. It was like, it's like pie filling, like an amazing, oh my god, this is amazing pie filling kind of pie filling. I did good. So, but yeah, I thought, I did it with the pears, which is awesome. That would work with apples too. So, and I might even do like a pear and apple blend. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So, probably be baking that tomorrow. But I've got a big thing of chicken over there. She had done but I do have some other things to talk about. She had done some meal prep yesterday, and it was mostly like salmon patties, salmon steaks. We get the 2-pound bags for like $10. They typically stretch pretty good, and it's good stuff. Aldi has it, Walmart has it, pretty much 2-pound wild caught pink salmon. It's like $10 for 2 pounds. A little pricey, just as meats, are concerned, because like chicken is obviously the cheapest thing out there right now, but salmon is really, really good for you. It's really good for you. But she had made like 6 different like salmon entrees, and she was like, because you shouldn't do salmon like every day of the week, because there are still things in it, like iodine and stuff like that can be in there with any seafood, and you don't want to overdo it. So she was like, I really should get something else, but I don't want to cook anything. We've been having that year, And I'm like, well, let me pick up a pack of like chicken breast meat, and would that help you if I were to like cube it and fry it? And she was like, oh my god, yes. I was like, okay, do you want me to season it, not season it? She's like, do whatever you would normally do when you get that nice copper brown color on the outside. I was like, okay, so I've really sold you on this idea. Let me go ahead and grab a pack. So I've got that sitting over there. I gotta, when I disconnect here, I'm gonna scrub up obviously, and cube it, and I'll probably soak it in olive oil, because it's kind of it's just a good pre-prepping thing. But I'll cube it, put it in a big bag with some olive oil, and probably either a garlic herb blend or an Italian blend. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. Honestly, they don't contradict each other spice-wise, so there's nothing in it that, oh god, don't mix that. They're okay together. I think I will do that actually, and just let it like think about it for 6 or 10 hours. And I've got the leg quarters and drumsticks in there that's already got the olive oil and the Italian seasoning going on. It's been sitting in there thinking about it for a day and a half, which that fridge gets really cold, so I don't have to worry about it like, oh, it's spoiled. That fridge it's like almost a freezing temperature where it really does hold things longer than it should. I've had yogurt that has lasted like a week, 10 days, 2 weeks out past date and whatnot. Milk that's lasted like 2.5 weeks past date. You know, because you can smell it or taste it and whatnot. It's like, but it almost freezes it to the point where it keeps it longer, which is cool. The only not cool thing is when you're trying to thaw something in the fridge, you know, and it's, instead of it being, 32 degrees, it's like 35 degrees. Like, okay, the thawing on this would normally take a day. In here it takes 4. So that gets a little bit tricky, but, make it work. Yeah, I need to cube and soak that chicken, and I'm going to pull out the leg quarters and drumsticks and bake those up, probably with some potatoes. Yeah. That's going to be Lupper, Dunch, one of those. Because I had some pears and dates for breakfast. Like pie filling for breakfast. But, it's, what was in the mix is pears, dates, honey, and cinnamon. Don't add sugar, you don't need to. The honey takes care of all that. I got 4 natural ingredients baked together. You know what I mean? No high fructose corn syrup, no red number 2. Pears, dates, honey, and the Ceylon cinnamon. Ta-da! No BS. And, oh my god, good. So I'm going to repeat that process with a bigger batch and adding apples. And no one's upset about that. So, go me. My only anxiety this week, honestly, is making sure that lawyer does everything follow through that they're supposed to, and the court accepts the documents and says, yes, we're good. I'm hoping they don't come back and say, okay, this is not what we asked for, or, yes, and we need these other improv training there. Yes, I needed these, and also, a blood sample, a urine sample. A full DNA workup, and why haven't you made world peace happen, Okay, in all fairness, they probably want a DNA sample. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and... I've got my email open. Nope, still nothing. Liar. It's funny because I looked at his feedback and there was another person that was like, never shipped it out. I sent them an email after 2 weeks and they gave me some kind of silly excuse. Eventually I had to demand a refund. And they got some positive feedback too. There were some positive ones in there. But I saw like 2 or 3 that were like, oh shit, I'm in that scenario. I'm going through the same thing these people went through. And when page 1 of feedback has like 10 feedbacks and 3 of them are like that, it's like 1 out of 3 people is getting that kind of treatment. It's like, oh man. I just want the second Taz mug. Be my 4th attempt total. So at that point it'll be 2 out of 4. Not 2 out of 6. You're doing better than Tweety. Bugs, 2 out of 3. Alright. Because I did get in 1 Bugs mug that was broken. Which actually, that was, I think, the first one of that type that I had gotten. I had gotten in like a mixed lot. And that was what turned me on to how cool that particular style of mug was. And I found a guy that actually had 2 Bugs Bunny mugs in his lot, and I ordered that, and they both came clean. So, my first attempt wasn't even really a first attempt. It was kind of a, oh wow, this is cool, shame it's broken, And then I went, oh wow, let me get these. That's when I did my research, and, then I got a Sylvester one and went, there's more. Who else is there, Just need the second Taz, and we're good. And again, I'm not even necessarily a Taz or a Tweety fan. Sylvester, yeah, okay, he's a cat, he's cool. Bugs, he's king. If you ask me my two favorite Looney Tunes, they're Bugs and Marvin. Especially when they're going at it head to head. Just puts a skip in my step. I wish they did a Marvin of that. That would rock. I do have a couple of Marvin mugs on order, though, that I found that are, like, really cool. Hopefully they get here without, you know, being stepped on by Abercrombie. That would be swell. But, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. It's after 5, so I shouldn't be getting any businessy things going on. Still got to work out the credit card situation, too. I got this. One brick. Right? Right, okay. Alright. I got Tweety. It's the little things. Make it a great day.